Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to do a bridal look that is requested a lot by brides who I work with during the summer. So if you're interested or want to learn a little bit more about what I do on clients, stay tuned. So first I'm going to prep my skin with this Scandinavia makeup finish spray. It is a finishing spray, but it's also really good for prepping your skin too. So I'm going to spray that first. I'm going to go in with this Charlotte Tilbury Flawless filter. I'm just going to hit the high points of my face, my cheekbones, my chin, my nose, and just a little bit above here as well. I'm going to take my sponge and dab that in. Okay, that's all blended in. We're going to move on to our eyes. I have this eye primer here from Morphe. It is the translucent one. I'm just going to put a little bit on each eye. We're going to take a little flat blending brush like this, and with some skin tone colored powder right here, which matches my skin tone, I'm going to set that primer. First step we're going to do is we're going to take this original Urban Decay Naked palette, and we're going to use the color Naked and the color Buck. Those are the two browns, which I think is like right here and right here. So we're going to start by using a fluffy blending brush and taking the lightest color Naked and just start blending it into your crease. You can bring it up a little bit because we're going to clean everything up later with some concealer when we do our eyebrows. So just buff that in, and I'm going to move on to the other eye afterwards. Now that we have that blended, you can see we have a little bit of a base going here. We're going to dip into that darker shade from the Naked palette called Buck, and we're going to concentrate that more in the actual crease and not move it up much. We start in the outer corner, as you can see I did right here, and then just wiggle it a little bit and then swipe over. Wiggle and swipe. It looks like that. I want to deepen that outer corner, so I'm going to take this Lorac Unzipped Gold palette, and there is a shade in there called Unwind. I believe it's this one right here. And again, I'm just going to keep that to the outer part as much as possible because I'm just trying to create depth and dimension right now. I am just going to build this up until I think is where I would like it. A lot of bridal makeup, you want it to be just a little bit stronger than what you usually wear because you're taking photos outside or there's flash photography. Next, I'm going to take this Clinique Sunset Glow in 01. It's just one of their individual eyeshadows. This is like a peachy champagne color. I just dip my finger in there and start from the inner corner and bring it about halfway in. So feel free, like what I'm going to do is go back with the same blending brush we did before. Do a little bit of Naked, a little bit of Buck, and just kind of melt everything together. I'm going to line my eyes with a very thin strip of a liquid liner. You can pick any one that you want. I'm using a dark brown. I prefer it because it looks a little bit softer. And if you see me looking over here, I'm looking in a mirror. I'm not going to curl my eyelashes right now because I intend to put some false eyelashes on in a minute after we do the face. So I'm just going to do a nice coat. So I like to do a little bit of color correcting before I do my concealer. I have this contour cream kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and just so I can keep everything sanitary, I'm just going to scoop a little bit out and put it on the back of my hand. I'm going to use the first shade that they have in here. Just a little bit goes a long way. The first shade is called Cream, and it's like a salmon-y color. I'm going to take this Real Techniques little eyeshadow buffing brush, get a little bit worked into the brush, and go underneath my eyes. Alright, now that we've done our color correcting, I'm going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape in 12N. And again, I'm going to go on the back of my hand. Take that same brush that we used before, dab, and then pat right on top of the color correcting that we did. On to foundation. I'm trying this new CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk. So far I'm really loving it. It has a dewy finish, but you can definitely powder it down if you want. And the coverage is light to medium at most. And I prefer to use this kind of coverage for bridal just because it's easier to spot conceal and cover up certain spots. And then this kind of cover gives you more natural finish, so it's like you but better. So I'm just going to blend this in, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, we have our base all done. Everything is nice and even, looking healthy and glowy. So we're going to move on to the next step, which is a little bit of cream contouring. I'm going to start with this cream blend stick from Nayron, and this is, I believe the color is soft beige. So this is going to be a very, very light contour. And it might not be for everyone, but it works really well for fair skin, and they have tons of colors of these, and they're pretty inexpensive as well. So I've just done around my forehead and my cheekbones and under my jaw a little bit. And I'm going to take my sponge and blend it all out. Got our cream contour going here, very light, but then when we add the powder on top, it will add a really nice dimension to the skin. And before I do that, I'm actually going to go in with a cream blush as well from the same company. It's called Tan Glow. I'm just going to put that right above where I put the contour, and again we're going to blend it in with the sponge, and this you can bring forward a little bit more because it is more of a blushy tone. We have our cream base going, we have the contour here and the blush. Now it's time to move on to powders. I have this palette I've made with a bunch of different powders. I'm going to take this angled brush here and just go into a neutral color that matches my contour, which is this guy up here. just gonna go right here. Blending brush we used earlier, put a little bit on the tip of my brush, and I'm going to work on my nose here, just on the corners right here and right here, and then work my way up. You're going to go in with my blush palette. A lot of different colors to choose from. I'm gonna go for this color right here. It's a rosy pink color. And kind of start right here where your eye, in the middle of your eye, and move backwards. You don't want it too close to your nose. We have highlight. I'm going to use this Urban Decay Afterglow in Aura. It's kind of like a pinky color. I'm going to use this Morphe M501. I'm going to just hit the high points of my cheek, starting from the outer part of my eye and making a C shape like this. Of my nose and the bridge of my nose and my cupid's bow right here. So now we're going to move on to eyelashes. I have these Kiss eyelashes. They're the Pixie ones. I'm going to take this duo glue, and this is the original one, the white clear. I'm going to run my eyelashes through that glue, put them on, and I'll be ready. We have our lashes on, and now we're going to do our eyebrows. I'm going to take a little spoolie and brush through them first. And then I'm going to take this Sephora Neutral Gray pencil that's waterproof, so it will stay through any sweating that you do while you're dancing or if there's hot weather. And I'm just going to shape my brows. And like I said earlier, I'm going to take a little bit of this tart-shaped tape on my hand and the same flat brush I used earlier for powder. And then go right underneath my eyebrows on each side and just make everything look nice and clean and crisp. So now we're going to go ahead and powder everything. I'm going to use this Morphe M438, and I'm going to take that same skin tone powder and just do a little bit, tap off the excess. Make sure you pat in any creasing that you may have gotten while doing your makeup. Just go ahead and gently and I'm going to take my blending sponge and dab it into the powder a little bit. And this is how we get a really nice clean line for our contour. And you're going to drag that right under. See how it did like that compared to that side. And I'm going to do that here on the other side. Just drag it. You just want to do kind of a angular line like this on each side. Take the clean part of the sponge and just dab it in so you don't have a harsh line. Going back with a little bit of highlighting powder, the same brush that we used before. Just a little bit more here, here, and then we're gonna spray everything off. Now, what I like to do is take this MAC Pure Flash Electro Cool eyeshadow. It's very sheer, but it has a little bit of glitter in it. And I'm just gonna put my finger in there and just put it in the center here. A little bit on the inner corner. I have this new Nessa Myricks Neutrals palette. I'm going to pick a lip color out of there. I have this little angled brush from Sigma. It's E65. And I'm going to go in with this color right here. So this is the finished look.